One of the reasons 52% of Brits voted for Brexit was because we were sick and tired of shadowy, secretive councils of the establishment deciding our future. So why the hell did the Levelling Up Secretary Michael Gove attend a secret meeting at Ditchley Park to discuss how can we make Brexit work better with our neighbours in Europe alongside arch Ramonas like Labour's Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy and former EU Commissioner Lord Mandelson, as well as Tory European Minister or ex-European Minister David Lidington and Theresa May's failed Brexit negotiator Ollie Robbins, not to mention other business chiefs, globalist business chiefs and former members of the Ramona blob. What's most disturbing to me about the whole affair is that the only reason the public even know anything about it is because the story was leaked to the pro-Remain newspaper The Observer. And today, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, certainly wasn't prepared to tell the public what is really going on and if he knew anything about it.
Brexit meeting that took place relatively recently, did you know about it? Do you sanction Michael Gove to go and talk to other MPs?
You know, I was proud to vote for Brexit, and now as Prime Minister I'm keen to make sure that we deliver the benefits of it.
It does sound like you were in support of this meeting then.
This is not about the meeting, this is what I'm talking about, what the government is doing, and that's making sure that we capitalise on the benefits of Brexit.
Yeah, but Darren was asking about the meeting. So Sunak might hide behind his admirable support of the Leave campaign in 2016, but in 2023 there is now an establishment plot to undermine Brexit. Exactly what folk like me warned would be a consequence of the anti-democratic decision to depose Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. Now, I want to share with you what our Brexit negotiator, Lord Frost, told the Daily Mail today, because this is very important. Lord Frost said this secret conference is a further piece of evidence that many in our political and business establishment want to unravel the deals we did to exit the EU in 2020 and to stay shadowing the EU instead. That's why so many of those responsible for Theresa May's failed backstop deal were there, while I and those who actually delivered the Brexit agreement were not. Brexit doesn't need fixing. It needs this Conservative government elected with a huge mandate on a Brexit programme to fully and enthusiastically embrace its advantages instead of leaving the field to those who never wanted it in the first place. I and millions of others want the government to get on with that instead of raising taxes, deterring investment and pushing public spending to its highest level for 70 years. It needs this Conservative government elected with a huge mandate on a Brexit programme to fully embrace it. Of course it does. Of course it does. Lord Frost is right with all of what he just said. And I share his anger and frustration at this current Conservative regime where the Chancellor imposed on the country against our will high-tax Jeremy Hunt, another arch Ramona who advocated for a second referendum and now wants a Swiss-style arrangement to tie us to the EU forevermore. Remember, the people at this meeting, other than Gove, who, let's not forget, still voted for May's terrible deal, they don't just dislike Brexit, they hate it to their core. Ramona in chief, Lammy, even disgracefully compared Jacob Rees-Mogg and the Tories' European Research Group to Nazis.
Comparing the ERG to the Nazi party, or at least to the South African racists. Now, whatever you think about the ERG, that was an unacceptable comparison, wasn't it?
Andrew, I would say that that wasn't strong enough.
We came out of Brexit with the worst deal possible.
You talk to very many others who say that they did not know what specific Brexit they were being asked to sign up to. Either a painful one, as I've said, or a pointless one.
You go back to what the business leaders were telling David Cameron this week. In some respects, they were saying, and we in the British government have consistently argued, you need more Europe in some areas.
I took a very firm view in that campaign and before that I thought British interests were best served, both strategic and economic, by staying within the EU.
So there's no part of you that wants to keep the country attached to the EU?
There is no part of my personal views that will ever play a role in how I serve the government of the day.
Brexit is at threat under a Conservative party led by Sunak and Hunt. But under a Labour government led by Starmer and Lammy, believe me, it is dead.